Hello, in this Kotlin programming video, I am going to show you how to create a data class. So a data class is a class which is purely designed to store data. So we can create one here, no, I can go outside. It should go over here. So I'm going to say, what you do is you use the keyword data, then you put class and the class name, so I'm going to just call it epic class. You put open close bracket, and then you put essentially the data that you want to store. So you put keyword var, then the variable name. So I'll call it, I don't know, str, and this will be a string. And you could, let's say if we create an integer, and I'll call it int, and that's it. I'll keep it that simple. And to create it, we just do var, and then we name it. So I'll just call it epic equals name of the class, so epic class. Now you provide the parameters, so a string and an int, but again it could just have one parameter, essentially one data that is storing. Could have 3, could have 4, could have as many as you want. I'm going to say Batman, and I'm going to say 30 for the number. And so if we were to print these out, let's see what we get. Okay, so we got the data right here. If you want to access an individual, piece of data from it, we do epic dot, then I, for example, and there we go. We can run this now. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to run it, and we'll get a result of 30 because the I variable is 30. And we can obviously create multiple, versions of these, multiple objects as we would with any variable type or class. Very powerful because it essentially allows us, maybe this is to do with, I don't know, a car, and it's all the properties of a car, the name, the position, the model number, its max speed, that sort of stuff. Really, really useful. If you want to modify the value, do like epic.i equals 78, and then we can do a print line, epic.i, keep pressing Command I instead of Controller to run it. And if you wait for that, as you can see, we get 78 points. So that's how you modify. And the last thing I want to show you is default and named arguments in the data class. So we can have a default value. So we could say string by default. We're going to be very imaginative and say it's going to be default. And the value by default will be 10. So if I create another variable, var epic2 equals epic class, as you can see, we don't get any errors. That is because we have default values. And if we run it, actually this won't do anything. I want to print it out actually. So I'm actually going to comment out these lines of code. I'm going to do print line epic2. As you can see, it has default values, and the original one had the modified values. If you only want to, let's say, specify one of the values, so instead of epic class, we want to do, let's say, we only want to modify the integer, so that is the second variable, but the name of it, which is I, equals then the value. So let's say if I put 55, and now if I run it, we'll get the default value for string, which is default, and we'll get 55 for I. As you can see, that's how you do default arguments, and when we want to select a specific one, we use named arguments. So that's it for the data class. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message, and as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.